Yo, what is up guys? We got some more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards to check out. More importantly, I'm really interested in the Junk Link Monster. Apparently Junks are getting a Link Monster, so I'm pretty excited about that. So this is Junk Connector, so it's a link of two. Obviously the blue card in the picture. The link zones are in the bottom left and the bottom right. He's got 1700 attack, and his summon requirements are 2 warrior/machine monsters, including at least 1 tuner. Oh, I didn't know that they could have that requirement, being like a tuner for a link summon, but that's kind of cool. Anyways, it says once per turn during either player's main phase or battle phase, as a quick effect, you can activate this effect. Immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 monster using only monsters this card points to as synchro materials. Huh. That could be a little bit interesting. However, the only problem I have with this, it says using only monsters that this card points to. Now, unfortunately, that does not really mean you're going to be able to Trish them, because he only points to technically 2 cards, right? And I believe Trishula requires, well, this is important, Trishula does have 2+ non-tuner monsters. Dang, dude, that would have been really cool if you can Trish during your opponent's turn. Technically, I know with formula you could have done it, but like, if only it pointed downward as well, this card would have been so much cooler. But I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, or if it just pointed in some other directions, I think that would have been much better. But anyways, that's his first effect. The second effect says if this link summon card is destroyed by battle by opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 junk synchro monster from your extra deck. This is special summon is treated as synchro summon. Wow, okay, that's actually pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of decent junk cards like Archer. What is it, Berserker? Does it count? It says it's treated as a synchro summon. That second effect is actually pretty good. However, it has to be destroyed by an opponent's card effect, so I was hoping maybe you can destroy it and then you can use it kind of like, oh, I'm going to make this, then make something else. Ah, dang. Well, it's an interesting card nonetheless. I think it's very cool. But again, I feel like the link zone should have been it should have got way more link markers. That way you could actually go for like more powerful things, because, I mean, it's still cool, but at the end of the day, I just wish it was a little bit better. But anyways, next up we have Lefty Driver and Righty Driver. So these are the 2 monsters over here in the picture, in the bottom left and the bottom right. So one of them has 300 attack, 100 defense. One of them has 100 attack, 300 defense. One of them's level 2, one of them's level 1, and one's pointing to the like left and the right. It looks like they have a screwdriver, and yeah. Anyways, let's check out the effect. So the Lefty Driver is a level 2 Earth Machine effect monster. It says you can only use this card's name's second effect once per turn. The first effect is if this card is special summoned, you can make this card's level 3 until the end of this turn. The second effect says during your main phase, except during the turn that this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to add a Righty Driver from your deck to your hand. Okay. Righty Driver has the effect of for synchro summon, you could substitute this card for any one synchron tuner monster. You can only use this card's name first effect once per turn. The first effect says if this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a Lefty from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Wow, that's actually really good. Wow. Now, unfortunately, when you banish the card to add, like, say, for example, this card, at that point it's gone, that's actually really cool. And obviously, that works well with the new stuff. Unfortunately, they are not tuner. Well, actually, one of them is a tuner. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that works really well to, of course, make the new thing. Dude, this card is pretty legit. I think it's more fun than meta. But substituting some stuff for any of these synchron, what is it? Flirt? Oh, hold on. There's actually a really good card. The Fleur, oh gosh, doesn't this require, well, it requires Fleur Synchron. This card's actually pretty decent. So it requires a really obscure card, which is Fleur Synchron. And anyways, it's just a pretty decent effect with 2700 attack. During each of your turns, when your opponent activates a spell trap card, you can negate the activation and destroy that card. That's not too bad. I'm just trying to think of the more obscure cards that you can utilize to make it. So Sorcerer Fleur is actually a pretty decent card. It lets you like reborn something from your opponent's graveyard. That's interesting. I think it's very cool. Oh, we got some extra cards. I guess they updated the page recently. So we got a number 5. Oh, more number cards. I forgot that was still a thing in the game. Anyways, so we have number 5, the Doom Chimera Dragon. 0 attack, 0 defense. Its materials are 2 plus level 5 monsters, and the first effect says it gains 1000 attack for each material attached to it, so minimum will be 2000. The second effect says this card with exceed material can attack every monster opponent controls once each. The third effect, at the end of the battle phase, If this card battle, you can activate one of these effects. Target a monster graveyard and attach it to it as material. Or you can target one card in your opponent's graveyard and place it on the top of your opponent's deck. That can actually be a little bit good for utility. I mean, it is technically generic, and it's not a bad card, so it can either be like 3,000 attack at the end. I wish it was 1,500 attack for each material. It would just make a huge difference, but not that bad. But I don't really know if there's really any deck that's going to make really huge use of it, because it is at the end of the battle phase. I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that guy. I think it's mediocre. Anyways, next up we have Pendulum Halt, which is the card over here on the right side. So anyways, it's a normal spell card that says if there are 3 or more face-up pendulum monsters with different names in your action deck, you can draw 2 cards. Also, you cannot add cards from your deck to your hand for the rest of this turn. Wow, well actually that's a pretty good effect. I mean, it just says you can't add cards from your deck to your hand, but you can still place them with a pendulum. That's actually still pretty good for Pendulum Magicians, dude. That is really good. That's a really good card for Pendulum support. That's really cool that they're supporting Synchros. We got Pendulum support. Like, a lot of stuff is getting more support over here. Cool stuff. There's also a few cards coming out in the V-Rains. Some of the other cards here for the V-Rains box. So anyways, we got Trickstar Foxy Witch, which is this card over here, with a link zone of 3, and it's got 2,200 attack. It's a light. I'm guessing it's probably a fairy. Okay, it is. So anyways, links are top, left, and right, and requires 2+ fairy monsters. It says you can only use this card's name first and second effects once per turn each. If this card is special summoned, you inflict 2 damage for each card they control. The second effect says if this link summon card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can special summon 1 link to or lower Trickstar monster from your extract, then inflict 200 damage from your opponent for each card they control. Wow, that actually is really good, because if they know you're playing Trickstars and they go first, they just commit to the board, right? And at that point, you're not going to be able to cycle and draw the same amount, potentially, with some of the cards. So that is actually pretty interesting. We also got some more Trickstar. Wait, we got a lot more cards. Okay, so we got 2 more Trickstar cards. Or actually, maybe 1 more, actually. The other one is Formud. Okay, anyway, so the Magic Corolla over here, which I'm assuming is the equip card here on the left side, says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. It says activate by targeting a Trickstar monster in your graveyard to special summon. If you do, equip this card to it. When it leaves the field, destroy that monster. Second effect is once per turn, if the equipped monster inflicts damage to your opponent by battle by card effect, you can special summon 1 Trickstar monster from your hand. It's not bad. I don't know if I'd play it, but not too bad. Anyways, next up we got the Formud Skipper, which is the card over here. It looks like a tadpole, like a Cyberse. It is a Cyberse. It is a Cyberse. Okay, it's level 1 Cyberse 00. You can only use this card's name first and second effects once per turn each. The first effect says during your main phase, you can reveal 1 link monster from your action deck. During this turn, if you use this card as material for a link summon, you can treat it as having the same card, name, type, and attribute as the revealed monster. That can actually potentially be really good in the future for some things that are very specific. But that's a pretty decent little effect. The second effect says if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you get to add 1 level 5 or higher Cyberse monster from your deck. That's actually really good. I don't think Cyberse have been too hot as an archetype in terms of like metagame, but that first effect is actually really decent. Again, it's just potential for the card later on. But next up, we got the Tactical X Chamber, which is going to be the what's the card? It is the normal trap card on the left, and then we got Gyoki Deathmatch over on the right. Cool. We're getting some more support for Gyokis. That wasn't an archetype that was really that hot, but anyway, so it's a normal trap card that says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. Says as the first effect, target 1 face-up monster you control, destroy it. If you do special summon 1 rocket monster with a different original name than destroyed monster from your deck or graveyard. Pretty cool. Next up, we got the Gyoki Deathmatch. It's a field spell card that says when this card is activated, place 3 counters on it. If a Gyoki monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle, remove 1 counter from this card. At the end of the battle phase, in which the last counter was removed from this card by its own effect, you can special summon as many Gyoki monsters with different names as possible from your hand and or deck, then place 3 counters on this card. Wow. Wow, that's an insane effect. As many. Now, obviously, it has to destroy an opponent's monster by battle. So, let's say minimum, you'd have to have 1 on board, which could be a link monster, which at that point, you just special summon 5 Gyokis. That is really crazy. Now, it does say at the end of the battle phase, in which the last counter was removed from this card by its own effect, meaning that you cannot remove those other counters via like some other effect. But the last one is the only one that counts. You could probably find some other cards to remove counters. Let me go ahead and check that out, because I'm actually kind of curious. Remove counters? Remove 1 counter. Let's try that. I'm sure there is some... Okay, there's removed. Is there remove? I know that there's a card that says remove all counters. But I'm going to pay 500 life points to remove all counters. Okay. Is there another card? It says you can place 1 counter on this card. Okay, place 1 counter on this card. Okay, I know that there's a lot of, how many counter, oh gosh, there is like a lot of cards. I want to go to, let's go to like a spell. How many cards are there that like go around with counters? Can someone, okay, target 1 spell card you control, place a counter on it. Okay. Well, technically I could remove all the counters, then place 1 counter on the card. Interesting effect. I'm really trying to figure out what other cards would work. If anyone knows what other cards would work well, just to place counters on it, I like I said, off the top of my head, I know that there was Heavy Slump, but that removes all counters, and then you'd have to place 1 on top of it. It just wouldn't be realistic. Is there a card that lets me place like remove 2 counters? That'd be the ideal scenario in here. And if you use like 2 cards to get utilize that effect, that's not that bad because you're getting 5 monsters out. Now it is at the end of the battle phase, so you won't be able to OTK, but getting out 5 monsters, that's a pretty good effect, as you can link summon for like a really strong board. I don't know, I think it's a very viable card if we can figure out what other cards remove counters, because that's an insane effect if you get to pull it off. But anyways, those are the other cards that zoom up with the Trickstars. Oh, I also wanted to mention, I forgot to, in my last video when we went over some of the new Trickstar cards, I forgot to go over the bottom card over here, which is the Trickstar Shakunage. So anyways, it's a light fairy. It's the one in the bottom right. I just forgot to go over the effect. Thank you for those of you guys that mentioned it in the comment section below. But anyways, 1400 level 4 light fairy. And anyways, you can only use this card's name. It's first effect once per turn. You can discard 1 Trickstar card, then target a Trickstar Link monster in your graveyard and special summon it. It's not bad at all. And the second effect says each time a card is banished from your opponent's graveyard, inflict 200 damage to them for each. Wow, that's actually pretty interesting as well. Potential with that card. There's like so many different like cards in Trickstars right now, but wow. I'm really excited to see what people come up with. If you guys got any really cool replays of any of the new cards, I know that they apparently just got released on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro earlier today. Send me in some cool replays. I'd love to check them out over at AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. Send me in the YRP. I'll give you a shout out. I love seeing what you guys create, but I'm more interested in the Gyokis, right? I want to know how can we get that counter thing to work, because like I said, it's a pretty cool effect. Gyokis are not the hottest archetype at the moment, but I think that they have a little bit of potential. In fact, I have a really good video showcasing them off, but I want to get it with the new support as like a combos like series for them. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed checking out a bunch of new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're always uploading more new Yu-Gi-Oh content.